People are realizing what's at stake. More and more actors are finally pushing back against the woke culture, and it's about time. They're fed up with constantly tiptoeing around, worried that one wrong word or joke could end their career. Today we're going to explore some of these legendary moments. If you are also tired of the woke mob, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more discussions just like this.
So I put up a tweet that has become an infamous tweet of saying that and I don't even know, because I just put it up in like a story section. I didn't post it. I put it in like the, quick, everybody look through like the stories of the tweet, because tweets used to have the fleet section. And it was basically saying that it didn't start like, Nazi Germany didn't start just with people just waking up being Nazis and like, right. Demonizing, like throwing Jews into the concentration camps. It didn't start there. It started before that. It started with propaganda. It started with, you had to kind of start urging people to make it okay to demonize your neighbor and to hate people for whatever differences it was. At that time, it was Jewish people.
You know what happened next? Disney fired her from The Mandalorian for stating something historically accurate. A spokesman for the company said in a statement, her social media posts denigrating people based on their cultural and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable. I say what's unacceptable is the double standard within the industry, because Pedro Pascal, who happened to be her co-star in the same show, shared a similar tweet back in 2018, which he later deleted, comparing concentration camps to the border crisis. The thing is, the picture he shared wasn't even in the United States. Disney obviously didn't fire Pascal, and he continued to receive multiple roles in big movies and TV series. I think it proves if you fall in line with the industry's dominant ideology, then you're far more likely to be protected. Step out of the bubble and you're on your own. It's a game and the rules depend on where you stand politically. But Gina refused to cave in to their demands, and watch what she did next. Not only that, she was also hired by the Daily Wire to act and direct in her own movie. She also teamed up with Elon Musk to file a lawsuit against Disney, which the company tried to dismiss and failed, and she's been on Nerdrotic's channel on Friday Night Tights. Great show. If Gina Carano wins her lawsuit against Disney, it would be a game changer in the battle against cancel culture. Her case isn't just about one actress taking on a major studio. It's about standing up to the growing trend of silencing people who don't align with the mainstream narrative. If she wins, it could set a powerful precedent that protects others who have faced similar treatment. It would send a message that corporations, no matter how big, can't just cancel someone because they don't agree with their views. This would shake up an industry that's been quick to blacklist anyone who steps out of line, and it might make studios think twice before letting social media mobs dictate their decisions. Next up, we have left-leaning political commentator Bill Maher, who had enough with how extreme things have gotten.
Liberals need a stand your ground law for cancel culture, so that when the woke mob comes after you for some ridiculous offense, you'll stand your ground. Stop apologizing, because I can't keep up anymore with who's on the list. Take Mr. Emmanuel Cafferty. He was a San Diego gas and electric worker, but he got fired because someone reported him making a white supremacist hand gesture outside the window of his truck. But he's not a white supremacist, he's Latino. And he wasn't making a hand gesture, he was probably just flicking a booger. And 62% of Americans say they have opinions they're afraid to share. 80% of Americans, young, old, rich, poor, conservative, liberal, white, minority, all hate the current atmosphere of hypersensitivity. Yeah, everybody hates it, and no one stands up to it. Because it's always the safe thing to swallow what you really think and just join the mob.
For years, Maher has been a champion of the left, but he's sounding the alarm about how far the left things have drifted, and he's not holding back. In fact, Maher has become one of the most vocal critics of the very movement that he once fully supported, pointing out how it's gone from advocating for social justice to a form of authoritarianism. Whether it's about cancel culture, policing speech, and or obsession with identity politics, Maher thinks the left has lost his way. Naturally, a lot of people started calling him a right-winger just for speaking out the truth. To which he responded in an interview, quote, "Let's just get this straight. It's not me who's changed, it's the left. A large contingent has gone mental and I'm willing to call them out." Maher perfectly described the state of the culture in another monologue. Watch what he said next.
The problem with communism and with some very recent ideologies here at home is that they think you can change reality by screaming at it. Lincoln once said that you can repeal all past history, but you still cannot repeal human nature. But he's canceled now, so him. Because, again, in China, we saw how a revolutionary thought he could do a page-one rewrite of Humans. Mao ordered his citizens to throw off the four olds: old thinking, old culture, old customs, and old habits. So your whole life went in the garbage overnight, no biggie. And those who resisted were attacked by an army of purifiers called the Red Guard, who went around the country putting dunce caps on people. Yeah, who didn't take to being a new kind of mortal being. A lot of pointing and shaming went on. Oh, and about 1 million dead. And the only way to survive was to plead insanity for the crime of being insufficiently radical, then apologize and thank the state for the chance to see what a piece of you are. And, of course, submit to re-education, or as we call it here in America, freshman orientation.
You could say that the analogy is a bit far-fetched, but you can't deny that an increasing number of people are holding back because they're afraid of the backlash that might come from saying something wrong. Why? Well, because in today's environment, one offhand comment or a slightly controversial opinion can get you labeled, attacked, or even canceled. It's not just celebrities facing this either, it's regular folks. By the way, I noticed you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, so what are you waiting for? Nowadays, people are afraid to be misunderstood, taken out of context, or judged harshly for things that would have been considered really normal conversation not too long ago. The truth is, a society where people are afraid to speak up is not a healthy one. Progress comes from discussing different viewpoints, and even when they're uncomfortable. I think Maher's criticisms are a wake-up call showing that even within political movements, there needs to be a balance, and that sometimes standing up for reason means going against the tide, even if it's your own side that's pushing too hard. But the next celebrity face calls to be canceled, even though he didn't say or do anything wrong. Watch Joe Rogan talk about it next.
Like that kind of thinking is what happens in Hollywood, and it's not because they really think that way. It's because they're terrified that they step outside the lines and they'll be, oh, he's another Scott Baio or something. Even Chris Pratt gets in trouble because he's Christian.
I saw that he was the worst Chris for a while.
Bro, he is the nicest guy I've ever met in my life. I mean, I've met people equally nice.
What were people? I don't honestly. I just saw something where it was just like worst Chris or something.
I don't give a what their thing is. They're all insane people that hate their jobs, that are sitting in front of the cubicle when their boss isn't looking. They're tweeting bad things about Chris Pratt.
To give a bit of context, it initially started after Yahoo Movies released an article originally titled "Chris Pratt Criticism for White Supremacist T-Shirt," which they later changed to "Chris Pratt Criticized for T-Shirt Choice." The t-shirt in question had the "Don't Tread on Me" slogan, which many people falsely attribute to the white supremacist groups. The only issue is that the claim is outright wrong, and that's why Yahoo had to change the title. You see, the slogan dates back to the American Revolutionary War and has nothing to do with the false claims that they were being spread around. I think Yahoo needs a crash course on US history before publishing any other articles aiming to destroy people's livelihoods. But Chris chose to not answer any of those allegations, choosing instead to take the high ground. A year later, however, people on Twitter came after him again, accusing him of being an undercover Republican, labeling him as the worst Chris in Hollywood. That's ironic, isn't it? The guy doesn't say a word, and yet he's getting heat for what people think he might believe. His Marvel co-stars took to X to defend him, however, with Mark Ruffalo saying, "You all, Chris Pratt is as solid a man as there is. I know him personally, and instead of casting aspersions, look at how he lives his life. He's just not overly political. As a rule, that is a distraction. Let's keep our eyes on the prize, friends. We're close now." Robert Downey Jr. joined on the part as well and posted on Instagram saying, "What a world. The sinless are casting stones at my brother Chris Pratt, a real Christian who lives by principle, has never demonstrated anything but positivity and gratitude." And as the true Christian he is, Chris responded in kindness to the woke mob during a red carpet interview. Watch what he said next.
I admire you so much for being open about your faith.
Oh, thank you.
Do you feel like, I feel like you sometimes get for that? Do you feel like that's a hard thing?
Oh, yeah, I sure do, but that's nothing new. That's nothing new, If I was of this world, they would love me just like that. But as it is, I'm chosen out of this world. That's John 15, 18 through 20. It's the way it is. It ain't nothing new. 2,000 years ago, they hated him too.
Beautiful, love it.
Oh, just how you deal with anything, just like a rhino. You stick your head down, you keep driving forward, you have thick skin, and if anyone gets in your way, you stick the horn right up there.
This response proves how Chris practices what he preaches. You see, he has always been open about his faith, and part of that involves showing kindness and grace, even when under pressure. It's easy to retaliate when the internet is attacking you, but Chris demonstrated that you don't have to respond with negativity. He's all about love, baby, focusing on his family, his career, and his values without letting the haters get to him. But what are your thoughts on this? Let's get the conversation rolling in the comments down below, and if you want your friends to stay informed like you, make sure to share the video with them.